All right, it's 7 o'clock. I have a couple people here on with me today. That's awesome. I'm just going to give it a couple more minutes to have people find me. But welcome to the Hydrangea card class I'm offering tonight. It is a free class for you guys to just learn how to use some more designer series paper if you haven't worked with it yet. But we've got 4 cards to make tonight, and I'll go over some of the cards I posted on my YouTube channel a few days prior using the same paper. So just want to give it a good few seconds to have people come on. Hey Pam. Oh, I haven't heard from you in such a while. I've been wondering about you. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well. It's certainly cold here today. It's just miserable, and we all just wanted to warm up here. So I know you are living in a very cold place just like me. So hopefully you're all bundled up for tonight. It's going to be another cold night. But hopefully tomorrow's another day, and it'll be a little bit warmer. So next thing you know, we'll all be complaining because it's way too hot. But anyway, Vermont here is kind of cold. So we just had snow once again, and we're all done with that, that's for sure. But anyway, we'll get started with just some happy mail. How about that? So I've gotten a few cards over the last week. So my birthday is on Monday, and I'm going to have a huge offering on my birthday, which is Monday. Anybody that's on my email list that lives in the United States will be entered into the drawing. So if you're not on my email list, you need to be. I'm going to be giving away a Stamparatus. And that is, let me just go get mine, because I still have the one I'm giving away in the box. But the Stamparatus is a stamp positioning tool. So mine has been used. We just used it the other night on Wednesday at my in-person class, but I have one of these, and I was able to order it at half price, and I wanted to give something away on my birthday, so I'm going to be giving away a brand new Stamparatus. So I'm very excited about that. And I might give away a couple other things throughout the week. I've got some stamp sets that I have over on my desk. So it'll be kind of just like okay, I'm just going to come on live and give away some free stuff. So you might want to make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel and make sure you hit the notification button, because that way you will know exactly when I'm live. And I'm not going to post when I'm live. So anyway, we're going to start with tonight's class. Oh, actually, no, I was going to show you some of my birthday cards. So, and some cards in general. So this is from Christine. She's a downline of mine, and she lives all the way across the United States from me. But she sent me my birthday card, which is really sweet. And she's also part of my card club, my monthly card club. And then here's another card that is from Linda. And she is in my card club too. She just sent me a nice little thank you card for designing cards for her. And then here's another one using the ice cream punch, really fun. And this is from my upline. So this is the ice cream cone builder, which I believe is going to be in my April card club. So I'm just waiting for it to get to my house. I paid the 2-day shipping on it, and still waiting, and it didn't get shipped today, so I'm hoping it does on Monday. And then here's another sweet little card using, I didn't even purchase this product, but it's really pretty. I'm sorry, I don't know what it's called, but it's got the sea and the paper that's ocean-like. So those are my cards. So if you would like one of your cards featured on my live video, just you guys can send me one, and I'll make sure it gets there. All right, so for tonight, I'm again offering this free class here, and to receive the here's my little make and take package. It's all ready for my first customer. I always design mine with a nice little tag and a belly band, and I've got all the little pieces here. The embellishments, you will get what I have. And I've got quite a few embellishments that will work with this class, but what my ordering special is for tonight and up to, I think it closes on the 12th of April, is my make and takes for free. So all the cards I'm making tonight are part of the make and take. You need to place an order on my website of $30 or more, and you need to use the host code here, okay, which is F6NCDYM. And that will get you the make and takes if your order is $30 in product or more. If you bump it up to $50 using this host code again, okay, I will send in the package of make and takes, a nice little offering of free dimensionals. Everybody uses dimensionals. There's 300 in here, so you'll have some to go with your make and takes here. So my shipments of the make and takes in the qualifying package of dimensionals, if you qualify, will ship the week of April 19th. So that'll be right before my monthly card club. I'm gonna include the written instructions, including the measurements, and will all be coming in a package from the USPS. And right here, so my offer expires April 11th, and it's for US customers only. So to place your order, you would need to go to inspiredbygraham.com and then click on the Shop Now button at the top, and that'll direct you right to my Stampin' Up! Online store. So that is my special for tonight. Let's go over the cards we're going to be making. So I used the stamp set So Sentimental. It is, no, Peaceful Moments. So this is the one I used. So it's really nice sentiment. Congratulations, birthday, sympathy, thank you. And just because. So this is a really nice staple, kind of a nice sentiment stamp set that you would like to have in your own craft room. So I've had this one for a while, and I do love to use it, and so don't my people in my in-person class. They like the sentiments that are just kind of plain and simple. So the hydrangea paper I used, it's the Hydrangea Hill in all of my cards, and there's lots of purple, of course, but I just love to make really simple, easy cards that you can mass produce or don't stress you out, right? So here's a thinking of you with all my heart, and then it just kind of has the designer series paper on the inside. Here is a happy birthday card, really plain and simple. Then on the inside, I did stamp a message, and of course included the designer series paper. And then finally, here's my thank you card. I used the Stitch So Sweetly dies on every one of these cards, I believe. That's the one we'll be making as well. Okay, so yep, these are all Stitch So Sweetly. I used, this one is just a sentiment strip with basic white. And then that punch is called the Tailored Tag Punch, okay? So you guys know I love to use punches because it's so super simple. All right, so those are the cards we'll be making tonight. And then just to recap some of the cards I just offered in my March card club is this one here. And then I used this one, The World is Better Because of You. So these are just more ideas you can come up with the hydrangea paper. And then here's this kind of that fun fold one. Opens up like that. And then here's the one that uses the double heart punch. And then this is the quarter flap here. And then this one I made on my YouTube channel the other night, of just plain and simple. And it has that nice little oval scallop punch there. So just some ideas for you guys. If you struggle with using or coming up with card designs, it's really, you know, once you, you know, make cards, it does come a little bit easier. So the suite, the Hydrangea Hill suite is found on page 18 and 19 of the mini catalog. And it's called the Hydrangea Hill Suite. So they give you lots of card examples here. One is using a pizza box. And then on the opposite side here shows you the paper and all the coordinating products that go with the suite. Okay, so the Hydrangea Haven bundle is priced at $52, which is the stamp set here and the dies. So that would get you the make and takes plus the Stampin' Dimensionals for free, okay? All right, so let's get started. Actually, one more thing I have one extra March Card Club offering. So this is $38 and I've made 8 cards here. It comes with written instructions, a video, 6x12 paper. And in the inside here, I've got some dimensionals. I've got, see, this is how I design my little card clubs. I got my little Let's Stay Connected and also a big package of the Pearl Basic Jewels. So if you're interested in purchasing this, it'll be a first come, first serve. Oh wait, and I forgot, the tri-colored purple ribbon is in there too. So all for $38, includes shipping. I have one left. If you're interested, it will be first come, first serve, and you will need to email me at inspiredbygraham@gmail.com, all right? So don't post in the comments because I'm really not looking right now anyway. So let me just actually look at the comments before we get going. So let's see, I've got 68 here in Iowa. I'm so super jealous. Doing good. Thanks for card rewards. Don't mind the weather. Spring is coming. Yes, that is perfect. Oh, and just the focus. What's, you know, I don't think I can because I'm live. So let me just drop it down a little bit and hopefully that fixes the issue. If it's the paper, then maybe it's the paper. So I can take the paper off and just use my desk. I don't want you guys to be out of focus and getting dizzy on me. So let's see if that works. It does kind of give a little bit of a glare, and it's a little bit darker. All right, so we'll get started creating this first card. So let's take all the pieces out. There's a little flower there. And this is the one we're going to be making tonight. The first one anyway. And just simple, gorgeous card, really. This could be a really good Easter card, but to mail a card right now probably wouldn't make it there until Easter. But anyway, let's get all these things out. You guys know I use my silicone craft sheet, which love to protect my work surface there. Plus, this is brand new. I'm gonna get it started. It helps start the Stampin' Seal. Okay, by what I mean by that is I always start the adhesive off the edge of the paper about 1/8 of an inch, and that starts rolling it, and it works so much better that way. All right, so we've got our designer series paper here. I'm just gonna layer this right on top of that old olive. Okay, and then just like gets layered down just like that. It's like so super easy. And then this one here, the old olive panel, is going to get attached to the Highland Heather card base. All right, and I noticed that mine wasn't completely scored in the middle, so I wanted to make sure I turned it around so at least it's overhanging on the front and not on the back. We don't see the back side, which is a little bit shorter. So I just made sure that my designer series paper was actually going the correct way, because this pattern here is it's a pattern that is, you know, you can't put it on upside down, okay? Because you don't want your hydrangeas going upside down. So it is directional. And you can really notice it in this pattern here. So Pam, I hope the focus is a little bit better. It looks like Linda's here. Oh, thank you, Linda. And Joni, and I'm not sure. Oh, Colleen from Las Vegas is here again too. Awesome. Okay, so that's very simple. The inside is just your white, and I always like to use my scraps, you guys. Lots of us have these little things and we throw them out, but I like to add them to the inside of my panels. So it doesn't take that long to do it, and I like to just add it here with a nice little white edge showing, okay? This is a little bit off, so that will bother me. So I'm just gonna take my paper snips and just trim it off. It's easy sometimes to do that. If you are cutting paper really fast, you might just go a little bit too far, and it was basically maybe a 1/16 of an inch. All right, so that's again directional. I'm gonna add my adhesive just to the top because on my inside panels, I don't go all the way around. I just like to use minimal adhesive. That way it saves me money. And when you're using the Stampin' Seal, it does really hold in nicely, and there's no reason why you need to put it all the way around unless you really want it to. I think it looks fine being loose. It kind of reminds me of a book, actually. All right, so we've got this already. Now we're gonna need to stamp. So I've got my banner and my gorgeous scrape. Only one color we're using for ink. You can use purples, blues, or greens. Those all work really nicely. And I've got a really long stamp here, so I've got it on a D block, which is just, you know, opposite. It's like at an angle. So we're just going to stamp this, hopefully straight, because I don't think I have a backup. I've got the other side, which is fine. We can do that. All right, I didn't do too bad of a job. So life is better with a friend like you. You guys are all friends to me. I really appreciate you coming on and supporting my paper crafting. All right, so we've got that. Now this piece here is going to go on that tailored tag. So you're gonna just run your adhesive, you don't need too much, right there in the middle. And it's like super sticky. And then I'm just going to center it on over top. So it's kind of like a triangle. Kind of reminds me of a diamond, actually. Okay. So that's good so far. And then we'll just flip it over. And then we just need to add dimensionals on here. You're gonna wanna add 3. So I'm just gonna add one here and over here, and then one in the middle, and that will support the middle and it won't buckle on you. So I'm just going to press those, make sure they're on there super good, and then we're just gonna peel those off. If I can. All right, so there we go. And then we're just gonna add this. Now I kind of look for an area that I don't want to cover up a lot of the beautiful floral paper here. So for me, I want to cover up this area here because it's kind of boring, and we'd rather see the flowers in the foliage rather than this like blob of just nothing. So we're going to add this right over here. And we can call it good. Now you can either do this, or you could, another suggestion would be to line it up with the edge of the designer series paper and then put it down. So you can just decide where you kind of want it. And I'm gonna leave it edge to edge on that designer series paper. And then the last thing I wanna do, actually next to the last thing I wanna do, I want to add that little die cut flower there. That came with the dies in the hydrangea, the dies. I can't remember what they're called, but it's part of the bundle there. So I'm just going to use, I've got my multi-purpose liquid glue here. I'm going to use it. You could use a glue dot, and this bottle is like totally almost empty. So hopefully I can get a little dot, which I did. And then we're just going to pick this up here. And then we're just going to add it right over to the corner here. Okay. Now these take a little These little ones take a bit to secure, I noticed. So I'm just gonna use my take your pick tool just to hold it in place for a good 5 seconds, and that should be good. Now, I noticed I used the metallic pearls in this card here, and I totally noticed that I don't have them on my desk. Oh, actually, I know why I don't have them on my desk, because I used them all. So I'm going to try to make do with the gold glitter enamel dots. I think those will work. I'm hoping that the little tiny one is not too big for this little flower, which I think it's actually perfect. So we're going to go with that. In the make and takes, you'll get embellishments that I have in my craft room, okay? And I've got quite a few, and they might be current, they might be retired, but I'll make sure that I send something in the make and takes that you will enjoy. All right, so I also want to add something here and here just because I think it just adds a little bit to it. So I'm going to use the, let me just see if the medium size will work. Yep, it will. So I'm just going to add one on the bottom and then one on the top. I think that's the same size. Yes, it is. Okay, and then I think that's pretty good. That's 3, that's odd number. I think that's fine. If you wanted to add more, you could add 5 or 7. I think anything over that was like overkill. Okay, so that is our card number 1, and we can kind of set them next to each other, and you can kind of see I used the same patterned sheet of 12 by 12, but since it's printed so, you know, differently, you're going to get 2 cards that look basically totally different from another. This one has more foliage in it, whereas this one has more of the beautiful hydrangea. So that's number 1. All right, so hopefully you guys are still with me. Totally not paying attention. I'm focusing on our projects for today. And so that's card number 1. Number 2, let's go with this one. Thinking of You with All My Heart. This uses the Gorgeous Grape card base. So it's a really bright purple card base. I used the Stitch So Sweetly dies. And on here, I used the Mossy Meadow, and that is embossed in the Ornate Floral embossing folder. And again, here I use the little flowers from the Hydrangea bundle. All right, it comes on, I have it, let me just show it to you. So these are the dies, and what I like about this, they're the Hydrangea dies, of course. This is the one that I use, and there's got some washi tape on it, but for March Card Club, I don't know how, for one card design, I had 20 packets I created, and I cut out 432 die cut pieces for one card. It was super crazy, but I had a lot of fun doing it. So this die really helped out. It has 3, 6, 9 of those little flowers, so you can just use lots of different scraps of cardstock to create those little beautiful coordinating flowers. Okay, so that is the Hydrangea dies, and they're kind of all in here. I leave mine on magnet sheets here so that I don't lose them. Once in a while, lose a die, and I still haven't found my scalloped rectangle, one of them that goes with the Stitch So Sweetly. So I'm kind of bummed about that. I thought it would kind of show up, but it hasn't yet in my craft room, and I use those dies a lot as well. Okay, so card number 2 is this one. Let me find the kit here. Got lots of little pieces again, and there's lots of these little flowers. They'll be right in there with your kit, or I'll put them in a bag. I haven't decided yet. So very simple card that has the designer series paper on the inside as well. All right, so I'm going to do my stamping first since I've got that little panel there. Let me just get this all out of the way. So again, when you die cut, you're going to have smooth side and you're going to have a rough side. So you definitely want to stamp on the smooth side. And let's grab, let's see, me thinking of you with all my heart right here. This one again, I'm using blocks that normally I wouldn't use. I would normally use a larger block, but I still, I'm right in the middle of cleaning up for my in-person class. I had 10 people there, and my April class is already sold out, which is the last Wednesday of April, so the 28th. So all my blocks are still kind of on different stamp sets, but anyway, I'm just making do with what I have. So I've got the Thinking of You with All My Heart already stamped with the Gorgeous Grape ink. And now we just need to assemble, so super easy. I've got the Stitch So Sweetly Gorgeous Grape die cut. And then we're just going to, since I've got this one here, we're going to layer that. I'm just gonna run my adhesive 2 strips there. And then we're just gonna layer this right on here. What I like about the Stitch So Sweetly dies is that there's so many layering opportunities that you can, you know, choose in the set. So I love to do lots of background die cuts with the pop of the white on the top. All right, so here's our Mossy Meadow, and that was again in that beautiful ornate floral embossing folder. And I know you probably cannot see it because it's like super dark color, but it is really pretty. All right, so I'm going to add 2 rows of adhesive only because it is embossed. Actually, I can't put that one on yet because I've got to put the designer series paper on first. So I went ahead of myself. So we're just going to add like 2 1/4. And then we're going to just kind of figure out what pattern you like. Do you want it going this way or do you want it going that way? It kind of really, I think I like it this way because the foliage is on the bottom on most of those, but just be cautious of your designer series paper before you adhere it down. All right, so the next thing is this one here. So I'm just going to add this layer over top of the card base and the designer series paper. And then here's this one. So see how easy this card is? It's like literally so super simple. Now this one I'm going to, I want it above the edge of that paper and I want it in the center. Just add that there. Now let's add, I like to embellish last, so we're going to switch gears and we're going to use this strip, this scrap piece of the Hydrangea Hill. We're going to add this to the inside panel of the basic white. Again, this is cut a little bit too long, so we're going to use our paper snips and just trim that up. Okay, and then we're going to add 1 row of adhesive all the way across. Save your adhesive, just a way to save you some money. And then this is just going to get layered right on top of there, centered all the way around. Now we're going to take these 3 little baby flowers, and there is a right and wrong side to them, so make sure you have the wrong side facing you. And I'm going to use the multi-purpose liquid glue. I'm just going to add a little dot to each of them. And then I have these nice little tweezers that Lee sent me, and I'm going to use my tweezers this time. They're crafting tweezers, and I'm still learning to use them, but I do love them. So they kind of work opposite than what you normally would use tweezers, right? You have to squeeze them so that it opens up, but there's a really nice point on them that's very sharp. And then I'm just going to, I'm going to add this one here, kind of like at an angle. And then I'm going to pick this one up and flip it over. And we're just going to add this one here. And then I'll just add this third one here. Just like that. I want to leave a space because I've got to put those, the embellishments on there. So I've got 3 of them. Now we'll take the gold glitter enamel dots, the really tiny ones, and we'll add 3 of them on. And that one's stuck to my finger. There we go. And then we'll take one more and add it to that one here, okay? So I think that's all you really need. If you wanted to jazz it up even more, you could put some of those enamel dots on the corner here. I'll do that for you so you can kind of get an idea if you wanted to add something to that die cut. Okay, so there you go. So that doesn't look too bad. So let me bring in the original. So on the left here, I used the metallic pearls. And then here I used the gold glitter enamel dots. So very simple card design. And this is a great layout that adds a little bit more to the card with that embossed panel using the ornate floral. Okay. So that's card number 2. Card number 3 will be the happy birthday one. So this one I used, let me show you what I've been working on. So I've been working on my customer thank you cards, and I have like 24 over there in a basket. So what I did was I took this card design and I transformed it over to my customer appreciation card. I'm not quite done it yet, but this is kind of what it looks like on the front. This uses the Forever Fern stamp set. And oh gosh, you'd think I would remember that paper. Let me go tell you what it is. It is called Forever Greenery. So I have a ton of the Forever Greenery paper. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut some of that up into 6x6 or something, probably some card fronts. So if your order is $50 or more, I'm going to add in some of this Forever Greenery Designer Series paper to your customer appreciation make and takes Stampin' Dimensionals, so that way you can have some Designer Series paper to work with too. So this is just another design using this same layout. So what I did with this one is I used the Pretty Peacock, and we know that color is going away, so it is retiring, unfortunately, as one of my favorites of the in colors. And then I used Pear Pizzazz and the Forever Greenery. And then this punch here is called the Label Me Lovely. I haven't checked to see if that's going to carry over or not. And then this thread here is my grandmother's. So do you guys ever remember like your grandmother or maybe your mother crocheting with crochet thread? Okay, do you guys see this? So my grandmother, she made these, I have one in my craft room. So she made these ornaments, and I happen to have one. And they are made with sugar starch, okay? So they have this nice little bell here, and it's all crocheted, and it's all really stiff. So this is what my grandmother made a lot of, and she made angels, and she used crochet thread all the time. And I was lucky, her passing was actually on March 31st. So it was on my card class, card night. What I did for my in-person class was I brought 3 different colors of her crochet thread, and we used them on our cards. So I just love to add something of my grandmother's on some of my cards. So I thought this worked really nice. And what happens is that when you wrap around thread, or you could use linen thread, something small like this, it kind of breaks up the card design, okay? So you can see this one here doesn't have it. So I think I'm gonna add it to this one. You can kind of see what I mean by that. So anyway, I do love to use her crafting supplies on some of my cards once in a while. So anyway, do you guys do that as well? Do you guys use other things that are kind of sentimental to you? She was 100 years old. She was very shy of being 101. She passed away March 31st, I think 3 or 4 years ago, maybe 4. And she, oh no, it was more than that. I think it'll be 5, maybe 4 years, 5 years. Anyway, she she lived a great life. She never did learn how to drive a car though, but she had 5 daughters and a son to drive her wherever she wanted to. My grandfather passed away. I think he was like 65 when he passed away. So she had to rely on her daughters, her 5 daughters and her son to get her to wherever she needed to go. She didn't have to learn how to drive a car because she had everybody else. All right, so I just layered the Designer Series paper Hydrangea Hill to the Highland Heather. And then we're going to add this strip here. I got all my other pieces inside there, so let me get rid of those. This piece here is going to get added to the Mossy Meadow card base. And I'm just adding 2 strips. This is really not directional. For my stripes, I like to have them going horizontally. I think it's a little bit more pleasing to the eye than up and down. Okay, so that's very simple. Then we're going to add this panel here to the card front. And it is directional, so I just gotta pay attention to where, okay, so this right here is where the stem is, so I know it's going the correct way. And I'm just going to layer this on. So what I'm looking at here is the space on this side and also the space that's the Designer Series paper to the edge of the Highland Heather. So it's kind of equal because it's a little bit more pleasing to the eye to do that. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap around that crochet thread. Okay, I need to have quite a bit of it because I wrap it around 3 times. But again, I just like to use some of her crafting supplies that I was able to inherit on some of my cards. Okay, so when you're wrapping around thread, a linen thread, if you're using Stampin' Up or Baker's Twine, I like to use about 6 inches off to the left. I'm right-handed, so I'm gonna wrap it with my right hand. So 1, 2, 3, and then around. I'm going to close that card back up. Okay, and then I'm going to go all the way over here for another like 6 inches. I know it's like could be totally overkill, but it's so much easier to tie a bow when you have a lot of extra. So now I'm just going to pinch all these layers together and wrap the right side around. Then I'm going to slide it down here. I've got to do it sideways. It's easier for me to make a bow or not, or hold it actually. So I've got it like this, and I'm going to use that middle finger just to hold it in place, and then kind of wrap that around and pull it. So I've got a knot there. Okay, so you guys still with me? I'm going to kind of straighten this up a little bit. And then let's make a little bow. And then we'll fussy with it and just get it down to size. And then I'm going to take my ribbon scissors because they work a little bit better, and just trim that off. And then let me put that away so it's not in my way. Okay, so now I've got the crochet thread, and it's kind of up and down, but we're going to separate this a little bit because it's just a little bit too much. So we'll just kind of break this up a little bit. Okay, I like to kind of spread them out, and then we'll do kind of the same at the bottom. Okay, so now this is all prepped and ready to go. I'm going to stamp Happy Birthday on this Highland Heather Stitch So Sweetly die. Let me find it, and it's got it on a little tiny block. And then we're just going to stamp it right on. So I've got Gorgeous Grape onto the Highland Heather. So the Gorgeous Grape is a darker purple, so it's going to pop, the color's going to pop on the die. This one's going to get flipped over, and you're going to add 2 dimensionals. So we're going to add those just like this. So in the make and takes, if your order is $50, you won't have to worry about using your own dimensionals, because you'll earn those for free from me by using that host code. That's the biggest thing, is using my host code allows me to send you free product, okay? Because I use that host money towards free products for my customers. All right, so you could leave it like that, or you could add another one of those little die cuts, which I want to do because I think it needs a little bit of something. So again, I'm just going to use a dot of that multi-purpose liquid glue, not too much. You could use take your pick tool, the putty side, and just grab it if you want, if you don't want to use tweezers. And then I'm just going to put this right up in the upper right corner, and then just hold it in place for a good, 5 seconds. That way we know it's that glue is drying onto the Highland Heather and the Gorgeous Grape together. Okay. While that's drying, we can work on the inside panel. Again, I'm just using your white, and I've got another scrap of the Hydrangea Hill. And I think it's like a 3/4 of an inch by 4. And then it really doesn't matter. It's just a scrap. I'm going to add it down to the bottom there. And then I've got that space of white because I like to break it up. Some people just like to put it edge to edge, and that is perfectly fine. I am going to trim off this excess. Okay, and then we're going to add another strip of that adhesive at the top. And then we're going to open up the card here and then add it right to the inside, just like that. And then let's add one of those enamel dots, the gold glitter ones. And we'll just add this right on top of that little flower there. And then we're going to sprinkle a few more throughout the card, just because we'll need to break it up a little bit. So I'm just going to add 3 more. Actually, we're going to go with 5. So 1, 2, 3. And then we need 2 more. I'll put 2 down there, and then I'm going to add another one. Let's add one right over here. Okay, so there you go. So here's this one, and then here's the one that I previously made. So this one does not have the crochet thread on it. This one doesn't, of course, and then this one does. So you can let me know which one you prefer. And if you think these are spaced out too much, all you really need to do, I think they're a little spaced out too much. I'm just going to kind of pull them in together a little bit. And then, there we go. Kind of put them a little bit spaced, but closer together. There we go. Okay, so that's nice. I know my grandmother would really like this card because she loves hydrangeas. And then here is the other one. So just kind of breaks up a little bit. And then that, my customer thank you card is this one right here. So you can kind of see all 3 of them all together, same kind of layout, and all, let me see, I think my camera is off. So let me just move these over a little bit. So you can kind of see card making is really not all that difficult. Some people I know get a little overwhelmed, but you don't need to. Just kind of go with it and see where it takes you. Okay, so that's card number 3. We got 1 more to go, and that's a thank you card. So we'll put these over together off to my side, and we're going to put this on another table, and then we'll get out all the pieces for this one here. That little flower's in there. I don't want to lose that. Okay, so the one that we're going to be making next is the thank you, and it's a top fold card using the Misty Moonlight Blue that's in the Designer Series paper. So it's a very soft, subtle blue, not too dark and not too light. It's got a little bit of gray in the color as well. Okay, so let's see what we've got here. We've got our die to stamp, thank you, and then we've got some other pieces as well. Okay, so I'm going to stamp the thank you first. Let me grab that stamp, and I'm using Gorgeous Grape ink again. And again, the stamp set I'm using is called Peaceful Moments. All right, so that was super easy, and I stamped on the smooth side, not the rough side. Now it's just a matter of putting this all together and calling it good. So I've got my Highland Heather panel, and then this piece here is the same pattern. You can see how I cut it, and then I cut it in half, and then I used the back side. So we get both colors, patterns on the paper, or our card, I mean. So we're just going to use our adhesive, and then this gets layered right onto that Highland Heather. And then this one here is just going to do the same thing. If you didn't want to cut your paper in half, the card would still look really nice with either pattern. So we're just going to match that right up. Okay, so we're looking pretty good. Now I thought that this right here needed something, so we went back to the ornate floral embossing folder, and I had a piece of scrap that we're going to layer right on top of here. But before I do that, I want to put this panel on my card base. So I'm just going to add more adhesive to that panel. And then we're going to add this right to the Misty Moonlight. Okay, so now that just extended this panel over, so it's a little bit wider now. This piece is cut 4 1/4 inches, so it is edge to edge. Okay, so we're just going to flip this one over, and one line of adhesive should be fine. And then this one is just going to get set right down over the seam of the two papers. Okay, then we're going to take the Stitch So Sweetly die and the layering rectangle. Okay, so you can see how these work really nicely together. And I'm going to layer this right over top. So it looks like this here. We're going to flip this over. We're going to add some Stampin' Dimensionals to this piece here. And I'm just going to add 4 of them. All right, so we'll just press those backings there just like that and peel them off. Okay, and then we're going to add this piece right over top of the seam, making sure it's centered on the top. And then, of course, we got to get it straight. It's not quite straight yet, so let's get it straight. Okay, now we're going to embellish it with that little flower again. Very common theme here, you guys. I'm using the same kind of embellishments. So I've got basically a nice little gift I can send to somebody. Do you guys ever gift cards or packages of cards to people? I think they make really nice gifts. So for tonight, I'm going to, again, will be part of my birthday giveaway. If you didn't hear earlier, I'm going to be giving away a Stamparatus on Monday. Monday is my birthday, and I wanted to share a Stamparatus with one of my customers. Now you need to be on my email list to be entered in the drawing, okay? That's the only list I'm going to be using. So I don't spam people with lots of emails. I can tell you that there's a couple of people here that are on my email list that know that I don't spam people like that. I don't send them out every single day. One, because I work full time and I honestly do not have enough time to be sending out emails every single day. So I kind of just send out random ones here and there. So my email list isn't all that big and I'd like to increase it a little bit. So that way I can bring paper crafting kits and my club to people that might be interested. But other than that, that's all I kind of use it for. So now I'm going to add all these little nice little embellishments to the kind of the areas I think they need something. And then let's see up here too. Okay, so I've got 1, 2, 3, and that's 4. So let's add one more. And I'm gonna add this one like kind of probably over here. Okay, so that is that card with the gold gilded or gold glitter enamel dots, and the one on the left uses the metallic pearls. On this one here, I use the gold ones. They come in gold and silver. All right, so I'm gonna recap everything for you guys so anybody that came on late will know what's going on. So Karen just made you 4 different cards. So that's the thank you card we made. Let me just stack that up there. And then I made a birthday card. One, I used my grandmother's crochet thread, and then this one I did not. So we'll put this one on top because that's the one we made together. And then I used Gorgeous Grape for the card base on this one here, Thinking of You with All My Heart. And then here's the one I made earlier. And then finally, Life is Better with a Friend Like You. So this, if you look at it, all 4 cards make a really nice gift. So if you're a card maker, you want to send, like, give somebody some cards for their birthday, a random person or your neighbor or your postal worker or somebody would love to send cards, right? We all make cards, so we need to send cards too. All right, so that's the card class we made. Now let's talk about, for you late arrivals, that I am offering an ordering special. And here it is. It's the make and takes for free. So the ones I just made are my make and takes for this month. And you would need to place a qualifying order of $30 or more using a host code, okay? The host code is very important because that's how I can afford to send free products to you guys, okay? I just kind of use those host rewards for my customers so they can make cards and receive free product from me. So if your order is $50 or more, I'm going to throw in a package of the Stampin' Dimensionals, a brand new, and there's 300 in here, okay? Those are for free. Again, you need to use the host code. And also at the $50 level, I didn't write it here, but I'm going to throw in some designer series paper that I have, and I'll cut it down so you guys can make some nice cards. I'll cut it down to like a 4 by 5 1/4 panel. That way I can ship it easier with the kits. I can just put it in an envelope and it'll ship. So here's how I designed my little make and takes. So they come with a nice little tag. The ribbon will be whatever I have in stock. The embellishments that are included in here, I use the gold glitter enamel dots, but I'll use what I have in my stash. And each kit is in an envelope, and I use the medium basic white Stampin' Up! Envelopes. Those are top quality, and when we make handmade cards, we should be using top quality products, and I highly support Stampin' Up! Envelopes, all right? So again, the shipments of my make and takes will, and the qualifying package of dimensionals, if you do qualify for that, plus a designer series paper, will ship August 19th. And I'm going to include the written instructions, including the measurements from the cards we made today in your shipment. This is only for U.S. customers, and this this offer expires at midnight on April 11th. That way I have enough time to put an order in and get it here from Utah to Vermont in time to cut everything up and get it out the door for you guys. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed my class tonight. I hope I sold you guys on the hydrangea paper. It's just really, really beautiful. And Sunday's Easter for all of you guys that celebrate Easter, or maybe you don't. I just wish you guys a happy Easter and a happy, nice weekend. And hopefully everything is really nice and warmed up, especially for us Eastern people who just went through a lot of cold weather yesterday and today. And it was super windy once again, so it makes it even colder and bitter. So I'll be working at a egg scramble tomorrow with the Hartford Parks and Recreation. That's where I work, and we're having an egg scramble COVID style in our park system tomorrow morning. So I'll be getting up early to go to work again, but then I'll be back in my craft room later in the afternoon. So be well, you guys, and I hope you have a great Easter and take care.